I am the mother of two beautiful children, and every new day we get to see, I strive to set the right example for them, and to teach them that God made all of mankind, and He made us equal. No one person is above or better than another. Let's set the scenario. You drop your child off to school, expecting everything to go as normal, just as any other day would. You head to the school to pick up your baby and find out that he or she has been killed. The first thought that comes to your mind is why? Why was my child killed? The principal and the police say they have one of your child's fellow classmates in custody, and when they asked a classmate why they killed your child, they replied with several students say that they saw another individual with some of the same similarities as your child, say height, ethnicity, gender, go into other classmates' backpacks and steal their lunch money. Instead of letting the school officials handle the situation, the student takes matters into their own hand, confronts your child as being the suspect, and takes their life. As a parent, I would be enraged. All the evidence is hearsay, and the classmate has no real way of proving that your child was indeed the thief. George Zimmerman was a murderer and was found not guilty based on the stand your ground law. The stand your ground law states that an individual may meet force with force when threatened. But just like the student in our scenario, Zimmerman approached a 17-year-old Trayvon Martin because he felt he was a suspicious character after being advised by a 911 dispatcher that police were on the way to investigate. Zimmerman and Martin got into an altercation, which led to the death of 17-year-old Trayvon Martin. I'll give you a little history on George Zimmerman. He lived in the Twin Lakes complex in Sanford, Florida, which had taken on many burglaries and break-ins starting around the summer of 2011. Many of the 911 calls that were made said that young black males had been committing the break-ins. 46 of those calls belonged to Zimmerman, and they were all stated as being young black males. Ultimately, the Twin Lakes complex decided to put in order a neighborhood watch, and they asked George Zimmerman to be the captain. Zimmerman and all other citizens of the Neighborhood Watch program were to call 911 with any suspicious activity, but they were to never engage. Just because Zimmerman was the captain of the Neighborhood Watch, this did not put him above any of the other citizens. They all had the same rules and regulations to abide by. Now I understand that Zimmerman was probably frustrated. You live in this complex, people are consistently breaking in and stealing. I understand that you would be frustrated. But that doesn't give me or anyone else the right to take a life of anyone, especially a child, but anyone who looks suspicious. I believe that as captain of the Neighborhood Watch, it would have been wise for George Zimmerman to get to know his neighbors. Get to know all of your neighborhood. See who lives out there, who's visiting, who's not visiting, who's a regular, who's not a regular. Get to know your residents and engage with them instead of assuming the worst of them. Zimmerman claimed he shot Trayvon Martin in self-defense. But why would you need to defend yourself in an altercation that you started? It is clear to me that Trayvon Martin had every right to defend himself. And as a parent, if someone was attacking your child, would you not want them to defend themselves as well? George Zimmerman said that he stood his ground because he felt threatened. by a 17-year-old teenage boy who happened to fit the description of at least 20 per 6. That's 69,572 of the Orlando, Florida metropolitan area. He felt the need to defend himself against a young black male, a young black teenage male who fits the description of at least 26%, of at least 26% of the Orlando, Florida metropolitan area. If our society continues to racially profile every human that we see, America's not really as united as she claims to be, is she? We can be the solution to this problem, but we must first recognize that we are all created equally and we are better together than we are separate. We claim that we are united. Then let us act like it. It is my belief that George Zimmerman should have been indicted for murder because I truly believe, based on the facts and the information given, that George Zimmerman had a personal vendetta against young black males. And instead of following rules and regulations, he decided to take matters into his own hand.